Have you ever noticed how the way you say something can completely change its meaning? That's called intonation. Intonation is the rise and fall of pitch in speech. It helps convey meaning, emotion, and intention in spoken language. People often confuse intonation with stress. Well, they are not the same. Stress is when we emphasize a single syllable in a word, but intonation is about the overall pitch movement in a sentence.
I can't believe you did that.
I can't believe you did that.
See, same words, but different meaning. That's the power of intonation. Intonation exists in all language, but each language uses it differently. In English language, it plays a major role in showing statements, questions, command, and emotions. Meanwhile, in Malay, intonation is important, but often relies on words like ke, ka, or lah to clarify meaning. Intonation is important because it helps us express emotions, clarify meaning, and even show politeness. So, in this video, we will explore and compare how English and Malay use intonation, why it is important, and how it affects daily communication. We are from Group 1. My name is Nuraida binti Muhammad, and this is our informative video on the function of intonation.
Hi, my name is Namata Sri Dr. of Chandrasekharan. Next is a function of international. International has different function in different language. But do you know that is a function different cross language? In English, it helps us different statements, questions, comments, emotional, and emphasis. The pitch of our voice change into indicate what we need or what we mean. The first function is expression, emotional, and attitude. Intonation helps us express feelings like happiness, anger, withdrawal, excitement, sadness. Without a proper intonation, our words may sound robotic or lack emotional. Second function of intonation is asking questions and seeking clarifications. In English, raising intonation often indicate a question, whereas in Malay, intonation often paired with some word like ke, ka, ta. Without proper intonation, a question may be mistaken for a statement or leading to confusions in conversations.
Hi, my name is Putrina Alia. So the next function is showing politeness and respect. Using softer, more melodic intonation makes requests and conversation sound more polite, and flat, commanding tone can make sure the same word sounds rude. Intonation also improve communication in the workplace. In professional settings, intonation affect how confident, respectful, or assertive a person sound. Good intonation in professional conversation help convey confidence and authority, which is key in leadership roles. Imagine a world where everyone speaks in a flat, monotone. Conversation would be lifeless, confusing, and dull. That is why intonation is one of the important tools in communication in any language. So, let's look at the example for the function of intonation.
You're coming today? You are coming today?
Did you notice? The rising tone at the end in the second sentence makes it a question. This is common in English language, especially for yes or no questions. Hi, my name is Kavisha and I will continue from here. In Malay, however, intonation plays a smaller role in forming question. Instead of relying on intonations, we usually add words like a ke or ka to form a question. Let's look at the example. In
Awak pergi sekolah?
Awak pergi sekolah ke?
So, While English often depends on rising intonations to indicate a question, Malay often relies on question words instead of just a tone. Let's take a look at another example where intonations also help express emotions like excitement, sarcasm, doubt, and frustration.
Oh, really?
Oh, really? Oh,
Betul ke?
Betul lah sangat.
Okay, now both languages use tone to express sarcasm and emotions, but Malay speakers often add extra words to strengthen their meaning. And let's see the final example.
I believe this is the best solution for our team.
I believe this might be the best solution.
How you say something is just as important what you say. Intonation helps establish authority, build trust, and influence others effectively. Good intonation is professional conversation helps convey confidence and authority, which is key in leadership roles. So next time you speak, pay attention to your tone. It could change the way your message is received.
Why does intonation matter? Because it helps us to avoid misunderstanding. Without proper intonation, a message can be unclear, rude, or even completely misunderstood. My name is Muni Natasha. Let's explore how intonation is important and how it affects real life communication.
what do you think?
I love your dress.
Oh, really?
If your intonation doesn't match your message, people might think you don't mean what you say. In English, a flat or monotone voice can make compliments sound insist, uninterested, or sarcastic. Even if you don't mean to, let's take a look for the example when using correct intonation.
What do you think of my dress?
I love your dress.
Could you please help me?
Sure, no problem.
Help me.
Excuse me?
Notice how the polite version in both language have a softer tone. When making requests, a gentle rise in intonation at the end makes the request sounds more polite and less like a command. So why is intonation important? Because it helps us avoid misunderstanding, express politeness, and adapt to different social settings. This is all from me. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Nuraini Mitiraja. Ever notice how English and Malay sounds different? Let's look at intonations, which is how our pitch change. Hi everyone.
Let's start with statements. In English, statements usually have a falling intonations at the end. For example, she is coming. You can see it's falling. While Malay is similar. We also drop our pitch at the end of dia akan datang. It's falling too. And what about yes or no questions? In English, the pitch usually rise at the end of is she coming? While Malay follows the same pattern. Dia akan datang. See, it's rising for both. Now let's look at the WH questions, or questions that commonly start with who, what, where, when, why, or how. In English, these usually have a falling intonations. Where is she going? Malay exactly the same. Dia pergi ke mana? Both are falling. What about list? In English, when we list things, the intonations rise for each item and falls at the end. For example, I bought apples, bananas, and grapes. Malay does the same thing. Saya beli apple, pisang, dan anggur. Now, here's an interesting difference for politeness. In English, we use rising or falling rising intonations to sound more polite. You can listen to this example. Could you help me? But in Malay, politeness comes more from the words we use rather than intonations. For example, boleh tolong saya? It's falling, but polite words as tolong make it sound softer. See, you can clearly see the difference between English and Malay intonations. That is all from me. Thank you.
And I will continue from here. Another key difference is stress and emphasis. In English, stressing different words change the meaning of a sentence. For example, I didn't say he stole the money. This sentence emphasizing he means someone else stole it. In Malay, however, doesn't rely much on stress. Instead, meaning is clarified through context or extra words. So finally, let's talk about expressing emotions. English speakers often exaggerate their pitch for excitement, sarcasm, or disbelief. For example, really? Oh, really? Malay speakers, on the other hand, use less exaggerated pitch changes and rely more on words like betul ke or oh begitu to convey emotions. So in summary, English and Malay share some intonation patterns like falling intonation in statements and WH questions and rising intonation in yes or no questions and so on. But English uses wider pitch variation for politeness, emphasis and emotion, while Malay relies more on context and word choice. And that is how intonation differs between English and Malay. Throughout this discussion, we have seen how intonation plays a crucial role in communication. It helps clarify meaning, express emotions, and prevent misunderstanding.
Without the right intonation, the same sentence can have different meanings. Imagine saying, "Are you okay?" with a flat tone. It might sound uninterested instead of concerns.
In English, intonation affects statement, question, and emotions. Meanwhile, in Malay, it plays a key role in showing politeness, sarcasm, and urgency.
Using the wrong intonations can lead to misunderstanding. If you ask a question with falling intonation instead of rising, it might sound like a statement instead of a real question.
That's why it's important to be aware how we sound. Intonation isn't just about pronunciation, it's about making sure our message understood is understood the way we intend.
At the end of the day, good communications isn't just about what we say, but how we say it. Mastering intonations makes us better, more effective speakers. That is all from us. We are from Group 7. Thank you for watching.